Mary Donaldson is living through a time marked by controversy, while at the same time there is a lousy sheep in her own family. Mary Donaldson, 51, was just another European princess until photos of her husband, Prince Frederick of Denmark, 55, with Genovieve Casanova, 47, in Madrid put her at the center of a media hurricane. Since then, every gesture and look has been analyzed with a magnifying glass, as has the story of her love affair with the heir to the throne and her origins in Australia. One element that has always remained out of the public eye was his family. His appearances were on rare occasions and very discreet. So much so that, unlike the close relationship we know Letizia and Paloma Rocasolano have, Mary's love for her family remains a mystery. For example, during Prince Christian's birthday party, his nieces Sherry Coppin and Michelle Donaldson attended the ceremony as complete strangers. In fact, they were believed to be two of 200 young people randomly selected to attend the event. The same thing happened to her older sister Jane Allison and her husband Greg Stevens, who attended the festival without being photographed. Something very strange, since Jane is Christian's godmother. Something similar happens with his relatives as well, although there are always rumors and controversies. Some of the most famous are his alleged feud with Princess Mary of Denmark, wife of Prince Joachim, and a strained relationship with his nephew Nicholas de Montpezat, son of Prince Joachim. Some time ago it was said that Mary had helped the young man settle in his homeland, Australia, but Nicholas's constant disagreements and rebellions made it unlikely that the future Queen of Denmark would want to get close to him. The Nicholas de Montpezat controversy. When Queen Margaret decided to strip Joachim's eldest children of their status as princes as a result of his first marriage to Alexandra Manly. In return, he granted them the title of Earl. A decision that the young men disliked and resisted in various ways, generating what people in the social sphere hate so much, controversy. While Queen Margaret was recovering from surgery, Nicholas and his family made headlines by announcing they were moving to the other side of the pond. In the case of the young man, it was revealed that he continued to use his title of prince despite the Queen's demotion. According to Mujer Hoy, on March 8, Nicholas did not apply to the Central Registry of Danish Citizens to change his status. Thus, the word Highness instead of Excellency continued to appear in his medical records. Of course, this is not the first time Nicholas has not been shy about showing his disagreement with the royal house of Denmark. Last year, he gave a television interview in which he called Queen Margaret a cold person because, despite living in the same palace, she didn't bother to talk to him. Moreover, since the monarch's husband Enrique de Montpezat had died 8 years earlier, Joaquin's children never had dinner with their grandmother Mary Donaldson's four unknown brothers. When it comes to blood and direct family, we have 4 of Mary's brothers to analyze. The Australian has an older brother, John Stuart Donaldson, who lives in Perth with his daughters, the aforementioned Sherry Coppin and Michelle Donaldson. There are also 2 sisters Mary, Jane Allison and Patricia Bailey, better known as Tish, who live in Tasmania. They all lead relatively quiet and low-key lives. Jane works as a pharmacist, although she tried to enter the business world with Boost Juice. For her part, Patricia works as a nurse at the Royal Hobart Hospital and previously worked as a fitness instructor. Finally, John is a geologist for Gold Road Resources. Although the connection between the two is not clear, there are gestures that indicate that the brothers have a good relationship. For example, Jane was the godmother of Prince Christian and John was the godmother of Prince Vincent. At the same time, Patricia sponsored Princess Josephine. In this way, Mary would create a bond between her siblings and her children. A gesture that should not be taken lightly. In addition, they have all been known to be invited to major family events of the Danish royal household, but they appear very rarely. Nicholas of Denmark, the firstborn son of Prince Joachim, did not hide his disappointment in his grandmother after he deprived her of the title of prince. His Majesty has decided that the descendants of Prince Joachim will only be able to use their titles of Count and Countess of Montpezat, while the titles of Prince and Princess, which they have held until now, will be suspended. Queen Margaret told the world that he had decided to make a number of changes to the institution that directly affected the children of his young son. This unprecedented decision has caused a huge family confrontation, which she herself mentioned in her New Year's speech. "I am pained that the relationship with Prince Joachim and Princess Mary has gone through difficulties, but now we are going through another moment. And I am confident that the family will be able to approach the new year with confidence, understanding. My 8 grandchildren are my great joy," she stated. Well, one of his 8 grandchildren has broken his silence on television, and this long-awaited appearance in which he did not hesitate to address the family dispute. As planned, Nicholas, Felix, Athena and Henry were stripped of their titles of prince and princess on January 1st. The firstborn son of Joaquin and Alejandra de Frederiksborg, who already has many and with much less institutional obligations, gave an interview to the Danish media outlet Billed-Bladet, in which he showed great disappointment in his grandmother. "It's a strange feeling and experience that I would rather not experience," the model begins by saying. With no choice but to submit to his grandmother's decision, he looks back and proudly thanks the years in which I was allowed to be Prince of Denmark, words in which his discontent is evident. Finally, Nicholas assures that the affection between all members of his family is unbreakable, although he does not deny that they have experienced very difficult weeks. "I always embrace all my family with great love. Difficulties and disagreements can arise in any family, including mine. The whole country has witnessed it." These statements came down like a bucket of cold water on Dona Margarita, who was sure that things had calmed down with her grandchildren. According to the monarch herself, the main reason for her decision was so that her grandchildren, with the exception of Christian, the heir to the throne, would be able to have more freedom without being tied to the obligations of the institution. However, Joaquin himself and now his son Nicholas still do not understand this and have perceived it as an inexplicable punishment. Only time will tell if the Danish royal family can once again enjoy the unity they have always boasted of.